Albert Einstein, the man who changed the world. Today, I will tell you a powerful and true story. It's the story of a man who didn't speak until he was 4. A man who was called slow in school. A man who later changed the world with his ideas. His name is Albert Einstein. We hear his name almost everywhere, in science books, on television, in everyday conversations. But do we really know who he was? Do we understand the struggles he faced, the dreams he followed, and the courage he showed? Einstein was more than a scientist. He was a symbol of curiosity, hard work, and hope. His life teaches us that even the most impossible dreams can come true, if we stay curious, keep learning, and never give up. Let us go back in time and walk through the chapters of his life, a story filled with questions, challenges, discoveries, and inspiration. Let's begin. Chapter 1. A quiet child with a loud mind. Albert Einstein was born on March 14, 1879, in Ulm, a small city in Germany. He was not like other children. In fact, people thought something was wrong with him. He didn't speak his first words until he was almost 4 years old. Even after that, he spoke slowly and carefully. His parents, Hermann and Pauline, were worried, but Albert was simply different. He didn't talk much, but he watched everything. He was always thinking. When he got a compass as a gift, something magical happened. He held it in his hand and saw the needle moving by itself. "Why does it move?" he asked. "What makes it turn?" That small question stayed with him for years. Albert was not a top student in school. He didn't like how schools forced students to memorize facts. He wanted to understand things, not just repeat them. Sometimes, teachers said he would never be successful, but Albert didn't let their words stop him. At home, his mother taught him to play the violin, and he found peace in music. His father and uncle introduced him to math and science. They gave him books and let him ask as many questions as he wanted. This freedom to explore became the heart of his genius. When Albert was 15, his family moved to Italy. He was left behind for a short time to finish school in Germany, but the strict school system made him unhappy. He left the school before graduation and joined his family in Italy. Later, he enrolled in the Polytechnic School in Switzerland to become a teacher of physics and math. Even though his childhood was filled with doubts and judgments, Einstein began to find his own way. He didn't follow the world. He followed his curiosity. Chapter 2. A job nobody wanted. The Patent Office. Albert Einstein finished his studies at the Polytechnic School in Zurich in 1900. He dreamed of becoming a professor, teaching physics and researching the universe. But life had different plans. For almost 2 years, Einstein struggled to find a job. No university wanted to hire him. His teachers didn't support him much, and many thought he was too strange, too independent in his thinking. He was intelligent, but he didn't follow the usual path. Finally, in 1902, Einstein got a job at the Swiss Patent Office in Bern. It was not what he wanted. He was not working with science, but checking other people's inventions. However, this job became one of the most important parts of his life. While working at the patent office, Einstein had a lot of quiet time to think. The job was simple for him, so he used his free hours to work on ideas that fascinated him: time, space, light, and motion. At night, he sat in a small room, surrounded by papers and books, writing equations and asking big questions. What is time? How does light travel? What would happen if you rode on a beam of light? He had no lab, no big team, No university support, just his notebook, his mind, and his endless curiosity. Between 1902 and 1905, Einstein wrote several scientific papers. In 1905, something amazing happened. He published 4 groundbreaking papers in a single year, now called his miracle year, or annus mirabilis. One of those papers introduced the world to a theory that would change science forever: the special theory of relativity. He wrote, "Time is not absolute. It can move faster or slower depending on your speed." It was a new way of seeing the world, something no one had ever imagined before. And he didn't stop there. Another paper introduced the most famous equation in history: E equals mc squared, energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. These ideas were revolutionary. At first, only a few scientists noticed, but Einstein's work would soon shake the world of science and bring him the fame he never asked for. From a small desk in a quiet office, Einstein began to change how we understand the universe. Chapter 3: A New World in America. In 1933, Albert Einstein made one of the most important decisions of his life. The world around him was changing fast. Adolf Hitler had come to power in Germany, and Jewish people were no longer safe. Einstein, who was Jewish, decided to leave Germany. He moved to the United States and accepted a position at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, New Jersey. Life in America was different, but Einstein continued to work on his scientific theories. He became a symbol of free thinking, peace, and human rights. Though he was now far from his homeland, he used his voice to speak against war, racism, and injustice. He believed that science should help humanity, not destroy it. Even though Einstein loved science, he also spent time writing about philosophy, education, and world peace. He believed that people should never stop learning and asking questions. He once said, "The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing." Chapter 4: The Letter That Changed History. In 1939, just before World War II, Einstein was told that German scientists might be working on a powerful new weapon using nuclear energy. With the help of other scientists, Einstein wrote a letter to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, warning him of the danger. This letter led to the creation of the Manhattan Project, a secret U.S. program to build an atomic bomb. Although Einstein didn't work on the project directly, his letter was a key reason the U.S. started developing nuclear weapons. Later, Einstein deeply regretted that his letter had helped lead to the creation of the bomb. After the war, he became an active voice for nuclear disarmament, saying, "The unleashed power of the atom has changed everything except our way of thinking." Einstein used his fame not to seek power, but to speak truth. He reminded the world that knowledge without wisdom can be dangerous. Chapter 5: A Life of Simplicity. Despite his fame, Einstein lived a very simple life. He didn't care much about money, clothes, or fancy things. He wore the same kind of clothes every day and never even owned a car. He rode a bicycle instead. He once joked, "I don't need many things. I have a violin, a pencil, and a piece of paper. That's all I need to be happy." His happiness came from thinking, creating, and helping others understand the world better. He loved music deeply and often said that if he weren't a physicist, he would have become a musician. Playing the violin helped him relax and even gave him new ideas for his scientific work. Einstein showed the world that you don't have to chase wealth to be successful. True success comes from doing what you love and using your talents to make the world better. Chapter 6: The Nobel Prize and Beyond. In 1921, Einstein received the Nobel Prize in Physics, not for his famous theory of relativity, but for his work on the photoelectric effect, which helped build the foundation for quantum physics. Even though his most popular theory made him a global icon, it was his deep understanding of light and energy that earned him this prestigious award. He used the prize money to support his family and donated some to help others. After winning the Nobel Prize, Einstein continued working on scientific theories, always searching for a way to bring all the forces of nature into one unified law. He called this the unified field theory. Although he never found the final answer, his ideas inspired future scientists to keep looking. Einstein taught us that even the greatest minds never stop learning, and that success doesn't mean having all the answers, but always looking for better ones. Chapter 7: Legacy that Lives On. Albert Einstein died on April 18, 1955, in Princeton, New Jersey. He was 76 years old. Even at the end of his life, he was still working on scientific problems. He left behind a legacy that continues to influence the world today. Einstein wasn't just a scientist. He was a teacher, a thinker, and a humanitarian. His face is still one of the most recognized in history. His ideas changed physics forever. But more than that, his life showed that with curiosity, courage, and compassion, one person can change the world. Today, students study his theories, people quote his wisdom, and his life continues to inspire young dreamers everywhere. He once said, "Try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value." Albert Einstein was truly a man of value. So what can we learn from Albert Einstein? He was not born a genius. He struggled in school, didn't speak until he was 4, and faced many challenges. But he never gave up. He kept asking questions. He followed his curiosity. He worked hard and stayed humble. Einstein taught us that imagination is more powerful than knowledge, that peace is better than war, that the mind is a gift and we should use it to help others, not hurt them. You don't need to be a scientist to be inspired by Einstein. Whatever your dream is, writing, teaching, building, creating, believe in yourself. Keep learning. Stay curious. Because just like Einstein showed us, the power to change the world starts inside your mind.